Startup founders, 9 things I really wished I had known as a founder. Now that I'm an investor, I see a lot of pitch decks, so let's dive into the mistakes I wished I had been able to avoid and what to do instead. Investors only have a few minutes to consider if they want to take a meeting, so tell all of the best things about your venture in 10 to 15 slides. Try to keep it short. I actually just recorded a whole series on everything I wished I had known as a founder with a video on each slide, so check it out. Number 2 is include a big vision and a short-term plan. So investors are looking for, why is this going to be a world-changing company? But also want to understand what you've done today to validate that it's a good idea. And you want to balance both. Number 3 is labeling the slides. I really appreciate it when founders include at the top, problem, solution, team, business model. Sometimes you make it creative and you're telling a story, but investors are really trying to check off in their own mind the key things they need to understand about your venture. And so by labeling the slide, it helps them understand what they're seeing and can digest the information faster. Also, given you've such little real estate in a pitch deck, use the headers to tell a story. So instead of saying problem really large at the top, just put it in the top left corner. Use that headline space to tell a story, make a big point, and show what investors should be taking away from that slide. Next up are small things, but really important. You want to make sure your deck looks clean and professional, so use consistent font, colors, sizes, all helps you do that. Also, including page numbers is helpful, or again, labeling slides, because then if an investor wants to ask a question, it makes it really easy to say like, hey, I saw on slide 4, or hey, I saw on your problem slide, and it makes it easier for them to follow up with you. Next up is using DocSend. I used to send things through PowerPoint or a PDF, and then if I had a typo or I have to make an update, I have to email the investor again. For investors, it might not download appropriately with different devices and formatting. It's a mess. Use DocSend, it gives you control. You can always update something in the background if you realize you want to use a new version, and that investor can click the same link. It's phenomenal. Not affiliated, just a fan. A mistake I used to make was getting feedback from experienced advisors, but not founders that had recently raised from my target investors. They're the ones that are going to have the most applicable and real-time feedback, and if all goes well, they'll also make your best intros. Seek them out on LinkedIn, send them a message. Most founders want to help other founders, so you're likely to get some help. And finally, most important of all is your X factor. I always say the only unique thing in this world is our individual souls. And honestly, a lot of investors make very subjective decisions off of your business fundamentals as well as you as a founder, and they're looking for something they can't quite put their finger on. When you're your fullest expression of yourself, it's compelling, it's engaging, and I believe that led to a lot of my success as a founder. Many of my investors told me they invested because there was just something different about me. The more you can lean into yourself while also absorbing best practices, the more that X factor is going to shine through.